Okay, so once again, good day. I'll just want to show you the course outline, no, of this course. Okay, so this will be the investment analysis and portfolio management. No, uh, the chapter one or week one focus on the investment setting. So I also provided a subtopics no per main topic. No, so for week number two or module number two rather, that is asset allocation and security selection. For module number three, focus on organization and functioning of securities markets. Module 4, security market indexes and index funds. 5, efficient capital markets, behavior finance, and technical analysis. Module 6, introduction to portfolio management. 7, asset pricing models. 8, introduction to financial statement and security analysis. 9, stock market and industry analysis. 10, focus on company analysis. 11, equity portfolio management strategies. 12, bond fundamentals and valuation. 13, bond analysis and portfolio management strategies. 14, introduction to the derivative markets and securities. 15, forward, futures, and swap contracts. 16, focus on option contracts and other embedded derivatives. 17, active portfolio management, alternative assets, and industry ethics. For so week number 18, module number 18, evaluation of portfolio management. So I provide additional topics kasi nakita ko ang dami nyo nga. Pero, yun. For the meantime, we focus on these 18 topics. Okay? Now, I'll just want to give you the gist no, of what we're going to discuss for the entire semester. Okay? Okay. So, type of investment no, or investment can be broadly categorized into various asset no classes including equities yung stocks no fixed income securities or yung bonds, real estate commodities, and alternative investment like hedge funds and private equity. Each type of investment no offers a different risk return profile no. Siyempre, liquidity and time horizon, allowing investor to diversify and tailor their portfolios no, to their financial goals and risk tolerance. So, what will be the investment process? No? The investment process involves clear financial goals, no? Determining the risk tolerance, no? Developing an investment policy statement, and selecting appropriate asset no, classes. No? This process no, includes ongoing monitoring. Siyempre, kasama yung performance evaluation and rebalancing of the portfolio to ensure alignment no, with the investor's objective. So, financial market facilitates no, the buying and selling of financial instrument, no, providing liquidity, price discovery, and risk sharing opportunities because they play an important role in capital allocation by channeling funds from savers to borrowers, thereby supporting economic growth and development. So what will be the factors influencing investment decision? Investment decisions are influenced by factors such as, syempre, microeconomic conditions. No? Nandyan yung interest rates, inflation, market sentiment, individual risk tolerance, and investment horizon. Behavioral biases and psychological factors can also impact decision making, no? Often leading to suboptimal investment choices. That is the main focus of our module number 1. For module number 2, we'll look into the asset allocation and security selection. The principal asset allocation, no? Because I believe, no, and I understand that asset allocation is the process of dividing an investment portfolio among different asset categories such as stocks, as I mentioned, bonds, and cash, no, to optimize the balance between risk and return. So the primary objective is to minimize risk through diversification while, syempre, maximizing the potential for returns based on the investor risk tolerance and financial goal. So, how about the risk tolerance and the time horizon? An investor's risk tolerance refers to their ability and willingness to endure fluctuations in the value of their investment. Time horizon or the expected duration of the investment is a critical factor in determining the appropriate level of risk. Generally, a longer time horizon allows for a higher risk tolerance as there is more time to recover from potential losses. No? So the diversification strategies or diversification involves spreading investment across various asset classes, no? Sectors and geographical regions, no? To reduce the impact, no, of any single investment poor performance on the overall portfolio. So by holding a diversified portfolio, investor can reduce unsystematic risk and possible achieve more stable returns over time. So, how will be able to secure or the security selection criteria? Security selection is the process of choosing individual investment within its asset class to to achieve the desired portfolio composition. So criteria for selection may include financial performance, nandiyan yung value metrics, growth potential, industry trends that we need to consider always, and the management quality. Fundamental and technical analysis are commonly used to assess and compare securities. For module number 3, the organization and functioning of security markets. Now, we have different types of financial markets. Financial markets can be classified, siyempre, pwedeng primary or secondary markets. In the primary market, new securities are issued and sold to investor open through public offerings. The secondary market facilitates the buying and selling of existing securities, providing liquidity and price discovery. So example includes stock exchange, and over-the-counter market. So meron ba dito naglalaro or nagplay ng star markets? Meron ba dito stock market? Sorry. Meron ba sa inyo na marunong sa stock markets or related ang task sa ginagawa sa stock market? So looking forward, Now, market participants include individual investors, institutional investors such as mutual funds, pension funds, and insurance company. Siyempre, kasama sa institutional investor, yung brokers, meron din tayo, dealers, market makers, and the regulators. Each plays a distinct role in the functioning of financial market, contributing to liquidity, market depth, and efficiency. So, trading mechanisms refer to the methods of which securities are bought and sold in financial markets. So, these include auction markets, where buyers and sellers submit competitive bids, and dealer markets, where dealers quote prices at which they are willing to buy or sell securities. Electronic trading platforms have also become increasingly prominent right now, providing faster and more efficient execution of trades. Financial markets are regulated to ensure transparency, fairness, and protection of investor. So regulatory bodies, katulad po ng Securities Exchange Commission, oversee market activities, enforce compliance with security laws, and promote stability in the financial system. Regulations also help prevent fraudulent activities and maintain investor confidence. For security market indexes, no, and index funds, no, construction of market indexes, no, market indexes are constructed to track the performance of a specific group of securities, no, representing a particular segment of the market. So indexes can be broad-based, like the S&P 500, which uh, include large cap, no, companies, no, or sector specific, focusing on the industries like technology or syempre ang healthcare. Indexes are of course typically weighted based on a market capitalization, no, price or equal weight. Now, so indexes can be classified by their weighting method. So a price weighted index like Dow Jones Industrial Average, no, give more weight to higher price stocks, while a market-weighted index like the S&P 500 gives more weighted to larger company. So equal weighted indexes assign the same weight to its constituents, regardless of size or price, offering a different perspectives on market performance. So index funds are designed to replicate the performance of a specific market index or by holding a portfolio of securities in the same proportion as the index. So, index fund management, no, involves minimal active decision making, resulting in a lower fees compared to actively managed funds. And these funds, no, are popular for their simplicity, cost effectiveness, and ability to provide broad market exposure. Then, the performance of market indexes is measured based on total returns, which include price changes and dividends. No? Index performance is often used as a benchmark to evaluate the success of individual investment or managed portfolios. So metrics such as tracking error and information ratio assess how closely an index fund follows its benchmark, no, and the value added by active management. Okay? For module number 5, no, efficient capital markets, behavioral finance, and technical analysis. No, the efficient market hypothesis posits, no, that financial markets are informationally efficient, meaning that asset prices fully reflect all available information. According to efficient market hypothesis, no, it is impossible to consistently achieve higher than average returns through active management or market timing. No, as any new information is quickly incorporated into prices. No, market efficiency is categorized, no, into 3 forms: no, weak, semi-strong, and strong. When we say weak from efficiency, suggests that past price information is fully reflected in current prices, rendering technical analysis if ineffective. So, semi-strong form efficiency assets, now that all publicly available information is reflected in prices, making fundamental analysis futile. No? So, strong form efficiency claims that all information, either public man yan or private, is priced in, negating any possibility of achieving excess returns. So, behavioral finance challenges the notion of rational market participants. So, highlighting, of course, the psychological biases and cognitive errors that can influence investment decision. Common biases include overconfidence, no, loss aversion, and herd behavior. So these irrational behaviors can lead to market anomalies and mispricings, which may present opportunities for astute investors. So technical analysis involves evaluating securities based on historical price and volume data to identify patterns and trends. So tools such as moving averages, relative strength index, and candlestick charts are commonly used to predict future price movements. Now, unlike fundamental analysis, technical analysis focuses on market sentiment and investor behavior rather than intrinsic value. Okay? For module number 6, portfolio management, the objective and constraint of portfolio management begin with defining the investor objectives such as income generation, capital appreciation, or preservation of wealth. So constraint include factors like risk tolerance, no, liquidity or liquidity needs, no, tax consideration, and time horizon. So a well-defined investment policy statement outlines these objectives and constraints guiding the portfolio's construction and management. Uh, MPT or the modern portfolio theory developed by Harry Markowitz, no, provides a framework for constructing portfolio that maximizes expected returns for a given level of risk. No? So modern portfolio theory emphasizes the importance of diversification and the trade-off between the risk and return, encouraging investor to provide or consider, no, the correlation between assets when building a portfolio. Portfolio construction involves, of course, selecting a mix of assets that align with the investor's objectives and risk tolerance. No? So techniques include strategic asset allocation where the portfolio is periodically rebalanced to maintain the desired asset mix, and tactical asset allocation, which allows for short-term deviation based on market condition. So active and passive management strategies also play a role in portfolio construction. The risk-return trade-off is a fundamental concept in portfolio management, highlighting the relationship between the level of risk, no, assume and expected return. So generally, high return or higher returns required taking on more risk, while lower risk investment typically offer more modest returns. Portfolio managers must balance this trade-off to meet the investor goals while managing, of course, the potential downtime risk. No? Now, for module number 7, focus on asset pricing models. Yung CAPM natin, capital asset pricing model. So the capital asset pricing model is a foundation or foundational asset, no, pricing model that describe the relationship between expected return and risk. No? So it posits that the expected return on a security is equal to the risk-free rate plus a risk premium determined by the securities beta, which measure its sensitivity to market movements. So arbitrage, no, pricing theory, yung APT, offers an alternative to CAPM, allowing for multiple factors to influence asset prices. So unlike CAPM, which focuses on market risk, APT considers various macroeconomic and industry-specific factors. So APT or arbitrage pricing theory, no, assumes that opportunities will correct and mispricings, no, ensuring that asset price reflect their true risk return characteristics. So multi-factor models extend CAPM and APT by incorporating a multiple sources of risk such as the size, the value, the momentum, and the liquidity factors to explain asset returns. So these models provide, or yung multi-factor models provide a more nuanced understanding of the drivers of investment performance and are widely used in asset management and academic research. Empirical tests assess the validity of asset pricing models by examining, no, their ability to predict actual returns. Now, studies often focus on the explanatory power of beta in CAPM, of course, no, and or okay, sorry. Okay, again, uh, as I mentioned, no, the the empirical test, the empirical test of assets, no, pricing models. These empirical test assets the validity of asset pricing models by examining their ability to predict actual returns. No, so studies often focus on the exploratory power of beta in CAPM or the significance. No, so of factors in multi-factor models. So while these models have been influential, no, empirical tests have also highlighted their limitation, leading ongoing refinement in the development of alternative approaches. No, so for module number 8, no, financial statement overview or financial statement provide a comprehensive view of company's financial performance and position. So, it means to say that the primary statement includes the income statement, balance sheet, no, and cash flow statement. So, an analyst, no, katulad ninyo, use the documents to assess profitability, liquidity, solvency, and cash flow generation, forming the basis for investment decisions. Ratio analysis involves calculating key financial ratios from a financial company's financial statements, no, to evaluate its performance. So common ratios include profitability ratios, anong katulad ng return on equity, liquidity ratios katulad po ng current ratio, and leverage ratio katulad po ng debt to equity. And this ratio, no, provide insights into a company's organization and operation or operational uh, efficiency or financial health or risk profile. So, fundamental analysis examine a company's intrinsic value by evaluating its financial statement. So, management quality, competitive position, and industry conditions. Techniques now include discounted cash flow analysis, price to earnings ratios, and a comparative analysis with industry peers. So the goal is to identify undervalued or overvalued securities for investment. Earnings and cash flow are critical metrics in valuing a company because earnings provide a measure of profitability, while cash flow reflects the actual cash generated by the business, offering insights into its financial flexibility. So valuation techniques such as DCF and price multiples rely on these metrics to estimate a company's worth and inform investment decision. Okay? For module 9, no? Macroeconomic analysis involves assessing the broader economic environment in which companies operate. So the key factors include GDP, no, growth, no, inflation, interest rates, and underemployment. So understanding these factors help investors anticipate market trends and assess how economic conditions may impact different industries and sectors. Industries typically progress, no, through the life cycle stages. Siyempre, nandiyan sa introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. Industry analysis involves identifying an industry current stage, competitive dynamics, and growth prospects. So this analysis helps investor identify opportunities and risks associated with investing in companies within the industry. So, Michael Porter's 5 forces framework, alam natin lahat yan, is commonly used to analyze industry structure and the competitive forces. So these forces include the threat of new entrants, bargaining power of suppliers and buyers, the threats of substitute products, and the intensity of competitive rivalry. Understanding this dynamic helps no investor assess the potential for profitability within an industry. Sector rotation strategies involve shifting investment between different sectors based on economic cycle. Let's say, for example, no, During periods of economic expansion, no, cyclical sectors like consumer discretionary and industry may outperform, while defensive sectors like utilities and healthcare may be more resilient during downturns. And this approach, no, aims to capitalize on the varying performance of sectors throughout economic cycles. Okay? For module number 10, no, analyzing the business model. Okay, so a company business model describe how it creates, delivers, and capture values. Okay. Analyzing the business model, no, involves understanding the company's revenue streams. What else? Cost structure, customer base, and competitive advantage. So this analysis helps investor assess the sustainability and scalability of the company's operation. So effective management and strong corporate governance are important for a company's success. No, investors evaluate management track record, no, strategic vision, and ability to execute plans. Corporate governance practices, no, including board structure, stakeholder rights, and transparency are also assessed to ensure alignment with stakeholder interest. No? Evaluating a company's financial health involves analyzing its balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow statements. No? So key performance metrics include revenue growth, profit margins, return on equity, and debt levels. So these metrics, no, provide insights into the company's operational efficiency, profitability, and financial stability. Equity evaluation involves estimating the value of a company's stock base, no, on its performance or financial performance and future growth prospects. No? So common valuation techniques include discounted cash flow analysis, price to earnings ratios, and comparable company analysis. So this method help investor determine whether a stock is fairly valued, overvalued, or undervalued. Okay. For week number 11, no, we have, of course, what we call active and passive management, right? So active management, of course, involves selecting individual stocks, no, or sectors with the goal of outperforming the market. While passive management aims to replicate the performance of a market index, active managers rely on research, market analysis, and forecasting, whereas passive manager focus on minimizing costs and tracking an index. No? Equity investment styles include growth, value, and blend. No? So growing investing focuses on companies with strong earnings potential, while value investing seeks now undervalued companies with solid fundamentals. And blend strategies combine elements of both. No? Investor may also employ strategies such as momentum, yung investing, no, momentum investing, where they invest in stock that have shown recent strong performance. So factor-based investing or smart beta involves constructing portfolios based on a specific investment factors such as size, value, momentum, and quality. So these factors have been shown to explain variation in stock returns, and it can be used to enhance diversification, manage risk, and improve portfolio performance. No? Performance attribution involves analyzing the source of portfolio's return relative to a benchmark. No? It assesses the contribution of asset allocation, security selection, and market timing decisions. So performance evaluation also includes metrics like the Sharpe no, ratio, alpha, and information ratio to ensure risk-adjusted returns and value added by active management. For module number 12, no, bond pricing is determined by the present value of its future cash flow, no, which include periodic interest payments, no, yung coupons na ginagamit natin, and the repayment of principal at maturity. So the yield to maturity represent the total return an investment can expect if the bond is held until maturity. So bond prices and yields have an inverse relationship. No? So duration measures a bond sensitivity to changes in interest rates, with higher duration indicating greater interest rate risk. No? Convexity is a measure of how the duration band changes as interest rates change, no? Providing a more accurate assessment of interest rate risk for larger rate movements. So these metrics are essential for managing bond portfolios. No? On the other hand, no, credit risk refers to the possibility that a bond issuer may default on its payment. So credit ratings assigned by agencies like Moody's and S&P assess the credit worthiness of issuers, no, with higher ratings indicating lower credit risk. No, investors use these ratings to evaluate the risk of default and make informed investment decisions. Now bond comes or bonds come in various types. No, we have different types of bonds. No, including government bonds issued by sovereign governments, corporate bonds issued by companies, and municipal bonds, no, issued by state or local government. So each type offers different risk return characteristics, tax implications, and levels of credit risk, allowing investors to diversify their fixed income portfolios. Okay? For module number 13, active bond management involves making strategic decisions to enhance returns or manage risk. No? This include participating interest rate movements, no, credit spread changes, and market conditions. So managers may adjust portfolio duration, credit quality, and sector allocation based on their market outlook and investment strategy. So immunization, no, is a strategy, no, designed to protect a bond portfolio from interest rate risk. How? Siyempre, by matching the duration of assets and liabilities. So duration matching involves aligning the portfolio duration within the investor investment horizon, ensuring that the portfolio's value remains stable despite interest rate fluctuations. Now, so managing interest risk is vital for bond investors or critical. Now, as changes in interest rates directly impact bond prices. Strategies include, syempre, dapat we know how to adjust the portfolio duration using interest rate derivatives and diversifying, no, across different maturities in fixed versus floating rate bonds to mitigate the impact of the rate changes. Credit analysis involve assessing the financial health of bond issuers to evaluate the likelihood of default. So this include analyzing financial statement, industry conditions, and economic factors. So understanding default risk, no, is essential for making informed decision in bond investing, particularly for high yield, no, or lower rated bonds. For module number 14, no, derivatives are financial instrument whose value is derived from an underlying asset, so index or rate. Common types of derivatives include options, futures, and swaps. No? Option give the holder the right but not the obligation to buy or sell an asset, while futures are contracts to buy or sell an asset at a predetermined price in the future. Swap involves exchanging cash flows such as interest rate swaps or currency swaps. No? Participants in derivative markets include hedgers who use derivatives to mitigate risk, speculators who seek to profit from price movement, and arbitrator. No? So who exploit price discrepancies across markets. Each participants play a role in providing liquidity and enhancing market efficiency. Derivatives are widely used for hedging purposes, no, such as protecting against adverse price movements in commodities, currency, or interest rates. No? They are also used for speculations, allowing investors to take position based on their expectation of future market movements. While derivatives can enhance returns, they also carry significant risk, particularly when used for a speculative purpose. So the derivative markets is subject to regulations to ensure transparency, reduce systematic risk, and protect investors. So regulatory bodies such as the Commodity Future Trading Commissions oversee the trading and reporting of derivatives, enforce rules to predict and prevent market manipulation, and promote stability in financial market. Okay? For module number 15, no, forward contractors, because it just focus on forward, future, and swap contracts. Forward contracts are customized agreements to buy or sell an asset at a specific price, no, or on a future date. So they are commonly used in currency and commodity markets for hedging purposes. So the pricing of forward contracts is based on the spot price of the underlying asset adjusted for interest rate, differentials, or storage costs. No? Future contracts are standardized agreements traded on exchanges to buy or sell an asset at a predetermined price in the future. So the mechanics actually involve daily settlement, no? Margin requirements, and the use of clearing houses to mitigate counterparty risk. So future in strategies include hedging, speculating, and arbitraging, which are with participants ranging from institutional investor to individual traders. No? Swaps are agreement between two parties to exchange cash flows or financial instrument. Interest rate swaps involve exchanging fixed rate payments for floating rate payments or vice versa. So while currency swaps involve exchanging principal and interest payments in different currencies. And these instruments are used to manage interest rate and currency exposure. So derivatives play a critical role in risk management by allowing investors to hedge against various risks such as interest rate fluctuation, currency movements, or commodity price changes. Because effective risk management with derivatives requires understanding the underlying exposure, the potential impact of market movements, and the specific characteristic of the derivative instrument used. For module number 16, no, options are contracts, no, that give the buyer the right but not the obligation to buy or sell. Pag sinabi natin kasi obligation to buy, yan yung call option. Or sell, put option. An underlying asset at a specified price within a certain period. So the price paid for the option is the premium. Options are used for hedging, income generation, or speculative purposes, offering a flexibility and leverage. Okay. Option pricing models such as the Black-Scholes model, no, are used to estimate the theoretical value of options. So these models consider factors like the underlying assets price, no, strike price, time to expiration, volatility, and risk-free interest rate. So the Black-Scholes, a model in widely used for pricing European option, providing a foundation for more complex derivatives. No? Option strategies range from simple to complex, no? Depending syempre on the investor objective. So common strategies include covered calls, no, where an investor sells a call option on an owned stock to generate income, and protective puts, no, where a put option is purchased to protect against a decline in the underlying assets value. So advanced strategies include straddles, strangles, and spreads. Now, so embedded derivatives are component of financial instruments that have characteristics of both derivatives and traditional securities. Example include now convertible bonds, no? Convertible bonds, which can be converted into equity, and structured notes, no, which embedded options. So understanding the embedded derivatives is critical for assessing the risk and return profile of these complex financial products. For week number 17 or module number 17, active portfolio management involves selecting securities, sectors, or asset classes to outperform a benchmark index. So, techniques include fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and macroeconomic forecasting. So managers, you as managers may also employ tactical asset allocation, market timing, and sector rotation strategies to capture no short-term opportunities. Now, so alternative assets encompass investment outside traditional stocks and bonds, no, such as hedge funds, private equity, real estate, and commodities. No? And this asset offer the diversification benefits and the potential for higher returns. But they also come with higher risk, lower liquidity, and complexity. So investor must carefully evaluate the risk tolerance and investment horizon when considering alternative assets. No? But again, no, ethical consideration in investment management involve adhering to principles of integrity, transparency, and fairness. So this include avoiding conflicts of interest, ensuring fiduciary responsibility, and maintaining client trust. No, ethical investment or socially responsible investing also consider environmental, social, and governance factors in investment decisions. Okay? So regulatory compliance is essential for maintaining the integrity of financial markets and protecting our investors. No, investment managers must adhere to regulations governing disclosure, trading practices, and fiduciary duties. So best practices actually include implementing robust risk management frameworks, conducting due diligence, and maintaining transparency in investment processes. And for the last module, the performance or evaluation of portfolio performance. No? So performance measurement metrics katulad ng Sharpe ratio and alpha. No, performance measurement involves assessing how well a portfolio has achieved its investment objectives. Metrics such as yung Sharpe ratio, no, which measure risk-adjusted returns, and alpha, which measure excess returns relative to a benchmark, are commonly used. No, so the metrics actually help investor understand the effectiveness of investment strategy and the value added by the active management. So benchmarking involves comparing a portfolio's performance against a relevant index or peer group to assess its relevant success. So peer group comparisons allow investor to evaluate the performance of similar funds or strategies. So providing context for understanding performance result and identifying areas for improvement. Now, attrition analysis break down a portfolio returns into various component katulad po ng asset allocation, security selection, and market timing. So, this analysis helps investor understand the sources of their returns and the impact of investment decision on overall performance. So, it is a valuable tool for evaluating the effectiveness of a portfolio manager's strategy. So, adjusting to risk involved evaluating a portfolio returns in the context of the risk taken to achieve those returns. So this include considering volatility, drop downs, and downside risk. Performance persistence refers to the ability of a portfolio manager to consistently deliver superior returns over time. We need to take note that investors use this analysis to assess the likelihood of future performance based on the historical results. So I think this will be the gist of what we are going to discuss for the entire semester. Okay?